The light in me, all that is good and pure and holy and divine, honors the light in you, all that is good, holy, pure, and divine. Namaste and aloha. Ikomo mai, welcome back. I was inspired to do this message, to share this message. So, have you ever looked at the ocean or a mountain or a tree or a flower and just been in total amazement and awe and appreciation for it? I know I have. I really love nature, and that's why I moved to an island where I could be outside like every day of the year and be in the ocean every day of the year if I choose. So, my message is to you that if you've ever looked at something in the nature and admired it, that that is simply a reflection of you. That beauty is a reflection of you and your inner beauty, because everything that is living and everything is alive, everything has energy, everything is energy, whether it's very dense energy, dense and heavy energy, or very light energy, but everything has an energy frequency or vibration. And sacred geometry proves that there is a pattern and a mathematical formula and sequence that exists in all things. So the same pattern that's in the acorn that makes the oak tree, that's in a shell, I collect shells, so I see it all the time, that's in a leaf, is the same pattern that's in our DNA. It's all interwoven and interconnected. We are all interconnected with nature and each other. So I don't know if you've ever heard this before. Some of you watching my channel are very familiar with these concepts that I speak about. Some of you might be new and you might be hearing this for the first time, but I'm telling you, you can do your own research and look up sacred geometry. It's amazing. In the Fibonacci sequence, which is in the sunflower, the head of the sunflower, and I'll explain in another video the meaning of the sunflower for me. And that sequence, that spiral, that mathematical formula is what holds the planets together. It's what holds everything, the universe, the multiverse together. It's science, it's math, and it's also spirituality. It's the same thing, whatever word you want to call it, whatever side of your brain that you like to hang out in, the right or left hemisphere, and the way you like to describe inanimate objects. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. Science or spirituality, it's all the same thing. So I wanted to share that with you because I know, like, my Chiron wound that I had to come into this lifetime with to heal was the wound around the I am, your self-worth, my self-worth, the I am. And I really had to do a lot of work on that. And that's a big one. That exists in most people my age in this generation or older, maybe one generation younger, but it is the wounding of the I am, and that's the solar plexus chakra. It's the feeling of not worthy. And if you couple that with you're an old soul and you've come into this life to experience and maybe balance out some karma and to share your gifts in this time of awakening on the planet, but you've forgotten, you have spiritual amnesia. So say you come in with this I am wounding presence of your self-worth, and on top of that you have spiritual amnesia and you forgot who you are, and then on top of that you chose a lifetime with lots of trauma and a hard life, right? So on top of that, so then you have all of these things that are just like weighing you down. It's like, of course you're going to be depressed. I mean, who fucking wouldn't? Like, when you hear the statistics of like how many people on antidepressants, it's like, yeah, like, why wouldn't you be? I mean, like, come on, you know, like humanity hasn't had a chance. Like, but the good news is we're in this time of awakening where people are starting to feel like something is like not right. And like there's got to be something more to this, because I'm telling you, you didn't come here. I mean, why would you make your journey all the way down to the earth to just want to give up and die? Like that's pointless. Like, why even bother? So when I was going through depression, and I know what it's like. I mean, it's literally like you feel like this blanket of heaviness just comes on top of you, and you can't physically move. You don't have the energy or the motivation to do anything physical, which makes you feel even worse. And you just feel like it's horrible. I know what it's like. And you just feel hopeless, and it's not, it's the complete opposite of who you are. And I'm not saying that by doing this is going to take you out of your funk or your depression. I'm not saying that at all. And there are some people that seriously need to be on antidepressant medication or some type of pharmaceutical medication temporarily to get through some type of heavy depression. So I will never say, even though I'm more of an all natural and I believe in the holistic way of treating body, mind, heart, and spirit. But I do believe that you need pharmaceutical intervention at times in your life when it's too much for you to do on your own. I don't believe that that's the answer long term, because long term it's just a long term band-aid. And what I think, it's good temporarily, but I think then if you can try to work on your inner healing to naturally be free from suffering and depression, then that's really the best way to go. So one of the things that I did when I was really depressed and like had no zest for life was, and maybe that's because I always loved nature, is that I would sit outside and I would make sure that I would took the time each day to like stop. I know this is so cliche, like stop and smell the roses, but literally that's what I did. I would stop if I was walking my dog and like admire a flower or a plant for an extra like few seconds and just say, wow, like I'd be looking at it, wow, that's amazing. That's just really amazing masterpiece that God created. And I would sit and just go around that day and say out loud and acknowledge, wow, look at that beautiful rock, or oh, look at the ocean today, or look at the clouds, how cottony they look, or how I would just really observe, appreciate, and admire nature. And I would take the time to say that out loud. And even though it didn't get me out of my funk, it uplifted me just a little bit, right? And sometimes all we need is that little bit of crack in the dark, a little crack in the dark to let the light in. And that little sliver of light, that silver lining, has a chance to come in and just possibly break you open a little bit more so the light can enter even more. And when you're in the dark, sometimes when you're really in the dark, you think, there's no way out. Like, how could you believe that? But I'll tell you, like, when you're in the dark, that's when the light is closest. But we just can't see it. I used to swim when I was on a swim team in Long Island, and we used to do a lot of open water swimming. I used to sing the song. I actually got it from my swim coach. He shared it with me, and it just clicked with me. And so I took it from him, and I used to sing as I was swimming the song "Yellow Submarine" by the Beatles. We all live in a yellow submarine, and I'd be singing it as I was doing my long distance open water swimming. And the message I got one day from my guardian angels was actually, it's kind of a funny story, because I was sitting with my dear friend who was doing a session with me, and I was in one of those dark places, And all of a sudden, her computer came on and a song started playing. And she was in a session and she giggled and she stopped and she said, "Huh." She looked at her computer. She thought, "Wow, that's weird. I don't know why my music just started playing." And then she said, "And I don't even have this song on my playlist." And I was laughing because it was the Yellow Submarine. And I said, "Well, I know why it's playing. It's for me." And she said, "Because that's how spirit comes to you, or at least to me, a lot through songs and music." And she tuned in and she said, "Oh," and she said, your angels want you to know that when you're underwater and you feel like you're drowning, think of that yellow submarine, because that submarine always comes up to the surface and you will always come back to the surface. You're not stuck under the water drowning. You'll always rise back up." And I thought, wow, that's really just what I needed to hear in that moment. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just that little message to uplift us and give us hope. And it was just such a powerful message, the way it all happened and unfolded, and telling me, like, because there's times when I just feel like I'd be drowning underwater and I didn't know how to get back out. And they told me the yellow submarine will always rise back up to the surface, right? Yeah, and it comes back down. Um, but as you work on healing your I am wounding presence of your self-worth and healing all the other traumas in your life, that you don't go down as much anymore and you don't go down as far. And sometimes you might go down, but then it's like you recover much faster. You rebound. You're like, nope, this is not where I want to be. This is not who I am. No, I did this, been there, done that already. And you come back up. So I feel like that process of healing is layered, and it's like a spiral, it's like almost like the Fibonacci sequence, it's like the spiral that you circle around to it, and you repeat like the same trauma or issue or something in your life gets triggered, and then you got to go through it again, and then you circle around and you go through it again. But as if you're working on yourself and you're actually seeking, healing yourself proactively, the spiral is going upward. So as you circle around to it and you revisit that trauma or that wound, it's getting easier and the circles are getting bigger. So it doesn't happen quite as often. And you're still ascending. You're going up and you're going up. You're not sinking back down to the dark. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. So I don't know if this was helpful or gives anyone hope that's listening to my message. But everything I share from you is coming directly from my higher presence, my God self, and through, I guess, all my relations and all that is good and all that is pure and all that is holy and divine. And I feel inspired to share. And I started off this YouTube channel by I decided I would commit to 2 videos a week, which was 8 a month. And I decided I could do that. That's something I could handle. Well, by the end of January, I had already made I think 19 videos. So it's flowing and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going. And sorry if my videos aren't the best edited, or if I'm blinking a lot, or I'm doing the best I can. I'm just trying to really just get this message across and share my energy. And I'm hoping you receive it and feel my love, feel my authenticity, feel my intention, which is pure. It's just coming straight from my heart to yours. And I'm your biggest cheerleader, because if I can do it, you can do it. And maybe if you haven't read my book yet, the first one you could listen to on audio and understand when I say this, like you'll understand better what I mean. And then I truly believe, like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. You could get through whatever hardships you're going through and whatever you're struggling with. I 100% know that there's a way out. And that I 100% know that if you sincerely want help and you ask for it, that the help is going to come so much to you. And I'm hoping that I'm paving the way for you. Maybe it's going to be a slightly easier and less arduous path than I had to go through. And that is my purpose, to be a pioneer of paving these new energetic pathways of healing for people, because I've been through the freaking depths of the dark and despair and depression, and I found my way out. And I just want you to know that I understand like how hopeless it can feel, but there is a way out. So I'm going to sit with this energy because it feels so good right now. And between the sun and the winds and the ocean and the Aina, Gaia is your true mother. I know Gaia is my true mother and my true sister, and she always has my back. And she brings me my sustenance and supports me, and she tells me there's nothing to fear ever. Know that for you too, that you're on this planet and she is a loving being and is here for you to give you all that you need. She's your mother and she loves you. The soul fire in me, I give to you. Aho. To learn more about my offerings, visit my website at igniteyoursoulfire.com. Please subscribe to my channel and comment below, my soul family. Thank you for being here on our precious planet Gaia at this time. Your light matters. You matter. You make a difference in the world by just being you. Ahuiho. Until our hearts meet again. You are loved.